Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. If you're watching this at approximately 5:15 p.m. New York City time, then this is a live show, so you can comment and watch in real time. Starting to see people trickle in here. Welcome aboard, and I encourage everyone, if you haven't shared this on your social media, be sure to do so that other people will be able to hopefully tune in live as well. So we're gonna talk about a lot of good stuff today, and it's this is a show for everyone. So anything's free game. If it's the first time that you've tuned into the show, all that I ask is that we keep everything free from profanity. No profanity and no subject matter that would be deemed inappropriate by. I want to keep this channel, always have. I keep it appropriate for all age groups. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm starting to see people come in. Thanks for tuning in live, everyone. So on today's table, we've got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, obviously with the drone industry, we've seen some of the community leaders. Actually, I wouldn't say they have a monopoly, but the number one drone company right now, arguably, is DJI. But we're starting to see others pop up, and it makes me wonder. Oh, here's Martin Carr. Welcome aboard, Martin. How's the Mavic going? Well, I mean it's good. I like the smaller size. The design, it seems to be built like a tank to be as small as it is. But something I want to achieve with the Mavic is 4K video that's as good or better than a Phantom 3 Pro or a Phantom 4. And that's been my struggle so far. And I'm hoping that Mavic, I hope the DJI, and I don't know if it'll be the Mavic, it may be the Phantom 5, but building, further enhancing that design and building something that may be a little bit bigger and maybe a little bit heavier, but something that's still more portable than the current Phantom platform. And I think that's going to be really good. And it's interesting. Let's see. Bhendo15 says, "You think they'll release a Mavic Pro Plus type of edition drone when they announce the Phantom 5?" That's a great question, and without being able to be a mind reader, it's hard to speculate as to whether or not they'll go that route, or if they're going to. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. My gut's telling me that we're going to see a Phantom 5, and the Phantom 5 is going to be radically redesigned. And I don't know what we may or may not see with the Mavic, but I would love to see if the Mavic had a camera on it that was as good or better than a Phantom 4 Pro Plus. That would be a really cool tool. Something that portable, that small, and that lightweight. I mean, that would be great. Green Knock Drone Guy says Mavic shortage really bad in the United Kingdom. Yeah, and something that actually a viewer mentioned this. I think it was last week. They said it's Chinese New Year, and if you're not familiar with Chinese New Year, basically when Chinese New Year occurs, production, and this isn't just the drone industry, but pretty much across the board, pretty much all production halts for Chinese New Year. So a lot of people are blaming the shortage of the Mavic on Chinese New Year. But Bhendo15 says, "I'm honestly not interested in the Phantom series as much since they released the Mavic." And I'll agree with you. I think once you let's look at an analogy here. Let's say, once Apple released a smartphone, the iPhone, it would be hard to go back to a cell phone in a bag. You get spoiled by the smaller size, the greater amount of features, and it's hard to go back in history and use something that seems kind of well, for lack of a better word, obsolete. But with that said, I think there's a lot of, my personal opinion, there's a lot of technological advancement that needs to occur with the Mavic platform for it to be as good or better than the Phantom. And I mean, obviously, it's It's smaller, it's more lightweight, something that's a lot easier to travel with. And that's also an advantage from the perspective, when you're going out and you're not having to lug around all this gear, because I don't care if you're flying a drone or if you're going out to, to play badminton in the middle of a field. You're taking all this gear and it draws attention. And I think smaller is an advantage from that perspective too, because, inevitably drones are getting a bad reputation throughout the media. And I feel that the media are responsible for showcasing all of the less than positive aspects of drone use. So that's, being able to go out and not draw as much attention. Obviously you would be flying in a safe and responsible location, but it's an advantage to not have, when you get out of your vehicle or whatever and you're carrying a case and then you're carrying all this other gear, it's nice to have a more compact package and not put on a show. Great question. Bhendo15 says, thoughts on the Karma since they've re-released it. So everyone not familiar, Karma, the GoPro Karma, as much as I hate to say this, now if y'all have watched my channel for a while, I've been a diehard GoPro user. I didn't start with GoPro 1, but I started with GoPro Hero 2, and it's been a great camera, because once I got the first one, I was able to repurpose the same mounts that are already on, the chest strap mounts, the head strap mounts, suction cup mounts, etc., and I was able to just get a better camera. But when GoPro released the drone, I was, and you can look back at my older videos, I was extremely optimistic. I felt that the GoPro Karma was going to be the best thing ever. It was going to be foldable, it was going to be smaller, more lightweight, it was going to potentially put DJI Phantom in its place. And GoPro has historically always been, and for my interactions with GoPro, they've been a very customer-centric company, a company that prides themselves upon providing excellent customer service and not ignoring the customer if they have a complaint. So, I was thrilled, and I had the GoPro Karma. I was one of the lucky few that had the Karma before it got recalled due to a potential defect that could cause it. I think it would possibly result in falling from the sky. But it was even though it folded up, it was still pretty much the same size as a Phantom. It came with a backpack. Backpack was nice, but my biggest gripe with Karma is that I want to film in 4K 30, if not 4K 60. And with the current model GoPro cameras, if I attach a current model GoPro to it, I can't do 4K and not have the fisheye effect. And if you're not familiar with fisheye, if you look at a GoPro video that was filmed, you'll probably notice it kind of looks like you're in a little bubble type thing. It's kind of weird. Now you can eliminate that by applying a setting what's called linear mode within the GoPro Hero 5. But if you do that, you've got to be filming in a lesser resolution than 4K. So there's no way currently to eliminate fisheye from the GoPro Hero 5 camera. So in my opinion, the DJI offerings are a lot better because I don't see that fisheye effect. So even though GoPro's re-released the Karma, my thoughts are, given the unfortunate chain of events, their product was recalled. It was recalled right before the holiday season. That if I had been Nick Woodman, the CEO of GoPro, what I would have done, I would have said, hey, we've released 2 new cameras that are very nice. You don't have to have the waterproof housing. We've released a grip that's a gimbal for the GoPro Hero 5. It's nice. It works well. And we've released a drone that's an absolute turd. And what I would have done if I was Nick Woodman, I would have said, sometimes it's okay to take a step backwards to move forward. And what I would have done is I would have discontinued the Karma. I would have said, hey, this happened for a reason. The Karma had a defect. We had to pull it from the market. Let's scrap it. Let's get all our engineers in the room. Let's design a product that can effectively compete with the DJI Phantom and the DJI Mavic. And let's bring that to the table and really impress everyone. And, and let's come out with a camera that can do 4K 30 or 4K 60 without the fisheye. And let's put that on the Karma 2. So I'm disappointed. I think it's a mistake. I don't think they should have put it back on the market. I really don't. Martin Carr, thank you. Yes, I've been waiting for my Mavic Pro. I'm in the United Kingdom. I still only have my Phantom 3 Professional. Love your videos. You always tell me what I want to know. Very cool. Well, Martin, thanks for watching. Green Knock Drone Guy says, can a hobbyist fly a drone at night? I have many people with different opinions on this. Okay, so for number one, I do not provide any legal advice or anything on this channel. But I will just tell you, to answer your question, my opinion is that I would never fly at night. I don't care which country I'm in. I would never fly at night because there's a lot of unknowns, and it's something I would never personally do. My best advice is to check with your country, find their rules and regulations pertaining to drones, and see if that may or may not be permissible. But personally, I would never fly at night. Bhendo15 says it's easier to see a drone at night than day, assuming that it has LED lights. AKAQ says, oh, I'm lagging. Sorry about that, dude. I'm working on my bandwidth. The DJI guy says, hi. And he says, I'm Bros Before Drones cousin. I remember Bros Before Drones. They came on and run, I think, a live show several times. Very cool. Welcome aboard. And thanks Bros Before Drones for spreading the word, getting more people to attend our live shows. That's a good thing. I love your channel about droning, and I sub. Thanks so much. Hey, thanks for the sub. I'll sub back right now, dude. Let me see. DJI guy. I can't click this one. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't click it. John Corey says, what do you think about the GoPro Sessions? I would only use it for water slides or snorkeling. Well, what I think about the GoPro Session is that, and this right here is the GoPro Hero 5 Session in its case. I didn't like the original Session because it didn't do 4K video. The Hero 5 Session does do 4K video. What I like is the small size. You can see here I've got my little USB sync cable, and then I've got the Hero 5 Session. This thing is cool because it's just small. You don't. And that's stupid. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't run around with a GoPro in my mouth, but the fact of the matter is that this case, it's a waterproof casing, and you don't have to put something around it. It's very small, very lightweight to travel with. If you're like me, you've got multiple cameras. I've done a side-by-side comparison, and I'm about to flash up the link, but I did a side-by-side comparison with the Hero 5 Session and the Hero 5 Black. And let me get a link to that here, and I'll show you what I got out of it. But my go-to camera now is the Hero 5 Session, and I've always been a GoPro Black guy. Black edition. The Hero 3, the Hero 4, but Hero 5, I've fallen in love with the Hero 5 Session because I like the smaller size. The disadvantage to it is that unlike with the Hero 5 Black Edition, you can't change the batteries. But that's not really an issue because what I do is carry around a USB battery bank, and I don't have to carry extra batteries that may fall out of my pocket. So here's a link to my comparison video, and you can find all the Hero 5 Session accessories that I use on there, and I really like it a lot. So if I was going to go between Hero 5 Session and Hero 5 Black, say the cost was the same. If the cost was the same, I may go with Hero 5 Black. And the only reason being is that, yeah, I can change the batteries if I wanted to. But, they're both small. The Hero 5 Black is small, and it's waterproof without a case, just like the Hero 5 Session. But if you're just doing snorkeling and water slides, dude, I would get the Hero 5 Session and a battery bank to keep it topped off when you're not in the water. So yeah, check that link I just posted, and you can find it all there. DJI Guy says, great channel. Hey, DJI Guy, I appreciate that. Bros Before Drones says, hey, Irix, we just want to let you know we brought in a new fan. His name is DJI Guy, and we're wondering what you think of flying your drone over water. Great question. Very good question. Number one, thanks for bringing in someone else to the live events. And also, great question about flying over water. So here's my answer. I would never encourage anyone to fly over water, because more than likely what's going to happen, the drone's probably going to crash in the water. You're probably never going to recover it. And if you do, it probably won't work because it got wet. But with that being said, I fly over water all the time, and I've captured some really cool, what I feel are very cool videos. So I would never recommend it, but it's some of the most awesome footage that I've been able to capture. Just like the intro to this live show, that was over water. So it was, I would never recommend it, but it's kind of cool. If you completely expect to lose your drone. AKA Koo says, I need to know why when I record videos I see them on my phone, but the snapshots until I put the SD card in my laptop. Weird. I always just stick the SD card into I run a Mac, so I stick it into my Mac and download it there into Final Cut Pro 10. Brandon says, how can I extend the range of my Phantom 3 Standard? You're not going to like this answer, but and I used a Phantom 3 Pro, but it had longer range because it had light bridge. Obviously, fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, but if you want to extend the range, what I would do, I would just, given the prices now, I would look at a Phantom 3 Advanced if you don't want 4K, or a Phantom 3 Pro if you do want 4K, or a Phantom 4 if you potentially may want to spend a little bit more. That's what I would do. A DJI Guy says, John says, thanks for the link. No problem, man. Let me know if you need anything else. The best way to get me is my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/IrixGuy. Feel free to drop me a message at any time, and I'll be happy to share product links with you. Greenock Drone Guy says, always fly over the River Clyde. It's fun flying over water. Most definitely. So, yeah, lots of good stuff coming. I think now there's a big show. It's the NAB 2017. Let me see when that is. I think it may be March. I'm hoping we'll get some good news. NAB 2017. The NAB. It's April the 22nd through April the 27th. So that's when my gut's telling me we may see something really cool from a drone perspective. Because the Mavic's cool, but I want to see the next big thing. So maybe it'll be at NAB. It says April 22nd to 27th, and exhibits are April 24th through 27th at the Las Vegas Convention Center in Nevada. Very cool. Yeah, Brandon, that's my best advice, man, because if you're hacking together something, you're probably going to spend more time, and you're probably going to spend more money than you would if you just upgraded. Bros Before Drones says, we think the same thing. We fly over water, even it's a risk, but the result is amazing. And you get amazing shots. Yeah, no, most definitely, dude. Anthony Barham says, trying to improve video color on my Phantom 4 Pro. Will the ND filter help? Now, if you're talking about color, and this is something actually I need to add to my to-do list, and I'm gonna text myself right now a message so I remember to do this. But color with drone videos, there's a little trick, and I'm shooting myself an email right now so I remember this. I'm going to do a video, so stay tuned to my channel, and you'll be able to see what I do. It's called color saturation. So I'm typing this right now. Color saturation tutorial. So you can put something on called a polarizer filter. And basically what a polarizer will do is, and the best way to describe it is that if you look at a video without a polarizer filter and then look at a video that did have a polarizer filter, you'll be able to see the difference. Just what's referred to as color saturation is more pronounced. But if you don't want to use a physical filter on your drone, what you can do is you can do it in post-production. So you can do the color saturation adjustments, and that's what I just sent myself a note to create a tutorial on that. I do all my video edits in Final Cut Pro 10, so I'm going to put together a tutorial demonstrating how I do color saturation. Now, it's not always necessary because a lot of the flights that I do in remote islands of the Caribbean, the watercolors and all of that's already so awesome that you don't really have the need to enhance that in post. But if you're in an environment, let's say there's a lot of dead trees and not a lot of color, then by adjusting the color saturation within post-production, you may be able to make the video more visually pleasing. So that's something I'll address in an upcoming video. John says, just bought my 17-year-old nephew the Phantom 3 Standard, taking it over to set it up. I will have to finish the video later. Have a great night. Well, welcome aboard, John. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck with the setup, man. That'll be fun, especially for 17-year-olds. They'll have a good time. And that begs a question. I wonder if drones are. That's kind of crazy, but I wonder if there's like an age requirement to use a drone in certain countries. If you have to be. I mean, I'm just trying to be crazy here, so. Donna Lee says, I'm in the car and on the move. Hey, don't text and drive. Don't watch videos and drive. Love the stream, but I'm going to lose you. Well, if you what you could do is pull over and go to like a place that had free Wi-Fi and watch. That's motivation. It definitely is. Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. That's very cool. So, yeah, what else do we have? I mean, this show is always free game. We talk about whatever. It doesn't just have to be drones. I mean, drones are kind of, something that are important to most all of us, but. So, sorry, I had messages popping up here. It's a busy place today. Bros Before Drones says, we were wondering if you have ever flown remote control airplanes or RC aircraft. We considered them drones being that the first drones were RC airplanes like the Predator, a modern UAV/drone. I have flown, and I forget the name of it, but it was in a long time ago. If you went to like your popular big box retailer and you got it was like a styrofoam airplane, and you put the wings through it. It was, I don't know, I think they called it a glider. I mean, it was huge. It didn't have a motor on it, and you threw it, and it would fly quite far. I had an RC airplane that was similar to that, and I never really had great success with it. Yeah, it's I don't know. Have y'all messed with other RC aircraft? AKA Q says, always like hearing, quote, if I see your drone above my house, blah, 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 LOL. See, that's the thing. That's where the media are responsible for giving this hobby a horrible reputation. Because it's, I don't know, it's just stupid. I mean, they're trying to, and keep in mind, when you're dealing with most any popular television network, conflict often draws the largest viewership. So, most of their missions, most of them have the mission to increase their viewership, which ultimately increases the amount of money they can charge people to advertise on their channel, blah, blah, blah. So they're inclined financially to go after conflict. And I hate that drones are like the up and coming, and I wouldn't say up and coming. I mean, drones have been around for a while now, but they're still the popular thing for the media to pick at. I mean, can you imagine if the recent presidential candidates in the United States were also fascinated with drones? Can you imagine all the mudslinging that would have gone on there? I mean, God, it would have been horrible for drones, regardless of which side of the fence you were on. So anyway, yeah, that's interesting. DJ Guy says, loyal fan. Hey, that's what it's all about. AKA Q says, exactly, IrixGuy. Johnny Reedy says, hi there, do you prefer the DJI Go or the Litchi app? I've had a lot of people talk about the Litchi app. I've never had the need to install it because I've been able to do everything I need to do with the DJI Go app. With that being said, to respond to your feedback and the feedback from many, it's something I want to check out in the near future. Maybe check it out in the field. I think there may be a cost involved with the Litchi app. So, I'll tell you like it is. I'm a cheap dude. So, if I don't have to spend money, I'm not going to spend money. So, if I can get what I want for something that comes bundled with a product, I don't feel behooved to spend any more. So that's my opinion. What do you think about the Litchi app? Have you used it? Greenock Drone Guy says, in the United Kingdom, we don't have to register drones yet. Well, hopefully that time will never come. Hopefully all of these pain points associated with drones, hopefully they'll start to simmer down and everybody will relax and be happy, It's crazy. Well, just got a message in my cruise here, so I've got to bounce, unfortunately. So appreciate everyone tuning in, and we're going to have another live show soon. But IrixGuy's got to head out the cruise here, so I got to run. But I'll be up on another live show soon. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/IrixGuy. And you can find this episode and all my other previously recorded episodes if you go to subscribe to my channel, YouTube.com/IrixGuy, and check out IrixGuy's live show playlist. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for a future live show very soon. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.